The moment she stepped into the grand lobby of the Royal Crest Hotel, she didn't look like she belonged there. Her hair was tied in a messy bun, her clothes were worn, and her eyes carried that quiet exhaustion only a struggling mother knows too well. But what caught everyone's attention, what would hook viewers right from the start, was the way she held a tiny hand in hers. Her little daughter, maybe 5 years old, clutched her mother's shirt, shivering lightly in the chilly lobby air. They didn't come for luxury, comfort, or even shelter. She came for something painfully simple, she just wanted food for her daughter. And what she didn't know was that a CEO, hidden behind tinted glass on the mezzanine floor, was watching everything with growing curiosity. The mother's name was Emily, and for the last 2 days, she and her daughter, Lily, had survived on nothing but tap water and a few crackers. Life had taken everything from her, her job, her home, her savings, but not her hope. That's why she quietly approached the hotel restaurant, hoping maybe, just maybe, someone would show mercy. She stood near the entrance as waiters passed by in crisp uniforms. Her voice trembled when she finally approached the counter. "Excuse me, could you please spare a small meal for my daughter? Anything, she hasn't eaten properly in 2 days." Lily looked up with innocent eyes, hoping someone would care enough to notice. The manager, a tall man with slicked back hair and an expensive suit that screamed arrogance, turned around with a smirk that chilled her more than the cold outside. "This is a 5-star hotel," he scoffed loudly, ensuring nearby staff heard every word. "We're not a charity." Emily swallowed hard, trying not to break in front of her daughter. "Please, I can do dishes, clean tables, anything. I just need a small plate for her." She pointed toward Lily, who was rubbing her tiny stomach. But instead of understanding, the manager laughed mockingly. "Oh, so now beggars are offering labor. Lady, leave. You're embarrassing the hotel." Behind the tinted glass railing above, the CEO, Alexander Hart, known to the world as a cold, unreachable business legend, leaned forward. He had come to inspect service quality, but what he witnessed struck him harder than any business presentation ever had. He watched Emily's hands tremble, watched Lily tug her mother's sleeve and whisper, "Mommy, it's okay, we can try somewhere else." He watched the manager roll his eyes dramatically, shooing them away like they were insects disturbing his spotless world. Something inside Alexander tightened, something deep and human he had nearly forgotten about. Emily tried once more, her voice cracking, "Please, she's just a child," but the manager stepped closer and pointed toward the door. "I said out, before I call security." His words echoed through the marble hall, drawing the attention of guests who stared but stayed silent, their empathy frozen behind judgment and discomfort. Lily began to cry quietly, burying her face in her mother's side as Emily wrapped her arms around her, whispering, "It's okay, baby, mommy's here." She turned to leave, heart breaking, hope crashing down in pieces on the polished floor. She didn't make it 3 steps before a calm but powerful voice echoed across the restaurant. "Is this how we treat people in my hotel?" Gasps erupted. The manager turned pale instantly. The staff stiffened. Alexander Hart had descended the stairs, his footsteps heavy with purpose. Everyone whispered his name like a myth that suddenly stepped out of a book. Emily froze, confused, unsure whether she was in more trouble. The manager stammered, "Sir, Mr. Hart, I didn't expect." "You didn't expect what?" the CEO asked softly, but with a razor edge that made the manager flinch. "Didn't expect someone to witness your cruelty. Your arrogance. The way you mocked a mother who asked for help." The manager tried to defend himself, but his voice shook. "Sir, she doesn't belong here. She was begging." Alexander raised a hand sharply. "The only person embarrassing this hotel is you." Then he turned to Emily. His voice softened in a way that stunned both her and the staff. "Ma'am, I am deeply sorry for what you've been put through." Lily peeked up shyly as Alexander knelt down to her level. "Are you hungry, sweetheart?" She nodded instantly, wiping her tears with her tiny hand. "Come," he said gently. "You're going to eat the best meal this hotel can offer." He escorted them inside personally. Guests stared in disbelief as waiters rushed to set a table, white tablecloth, warm bread, steaming soup, soft lights. The CEO himself pulled out a chair for Emily, surprising her into silence. "No one," he said firmly, "should ever be turned away when they ask for help. And no child should go hungry." As the food arrived, Lily's eyes widened with joy and relief. She ate slowly at first, almost unsure if she was allowed to, until Alexander smiled reassuringly. Emily watched her daughter eat, her own eyes brimming with grateful tears. When the meal ended, Alexander sat beside Emily. "Tell me your story," he said quietly. She explained everything, how she lost her job due to budget cuts, how rent piled up, how she'd been desperately trying to hold herself and her daughter together. She spoke slowly, half embarrassed, half relieved. When she finished, Alexander leaned back, thinking deeply. "Emily," he said, "you don't need charity. You need an opportunity. And I can offer you one, right here in this hotel." Her eyes widened. The CEO continued, "We need someone honest, dedicated, and compassionate in our guest relations team. You've proven you have the strength and heart for it. If you're willing, the job is yours. Starting today." Emily covered her mouth, her breath trembling. For the first time in months, she felt the weight on her chest lift. Are you serious?" she whispered. Alexander nodded. "Absolutely. And until you find a proper home, you and Lily can stay here as my guests." At that moment, the staff began whispering among themselves, ashamed of what the manager had done. Alexander turned to him, his voice like steel. "Pack your things. You're done here. This hotel will never tolerate cruelty, not on my watch." The manager left silently, his arrogance evaporated, his downfall witnessed by everyone. Days turned to weeks, and Emily blossomed in her new role. She greeted guests warmly, helped families, comforted children, and earned admiration from the entire staff. Lily attended a nearby school, her laughter filling the hotel hallways after class. Alexander often watched from afar, impressed not by the gratitude she offered, but by the resilience she carried. The hotel became her new beginning, her place of healing. One evening, while closing up the reception desk, Emily spotted Alexander walking through the lobby. She approached him with a smile that reached her eyes. "You saved my life that day," she said softly. Alexander shook his head. "No, Emily. You saved your own. I just opened a door, you walked through it." Lily ran up and hugged Alexander's leg, giggling, and Emily's heart swelled with warmth. Before the story closes, the narrator leans in with that engaging call that draws viewers closer. If this story touched your heart, even a little, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need a reminder that kindness can change lives, and one moment of compassion can rewrite someone's entire story.